Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining the TagoIO 2024 webinar series. Today we got a good one, a powerful tool called Control Tower. We'll be talking about defining resources and service usage. I'm David Hall. I am the Customer Success Manager here in North America, and I also have Victor Lima, which is our lead application software engineer, with us today. Let's get into the agenda. So we're going to go over what is Control Tower, right? And Victor will explain what Control Tower is and its key benefits, but it's really critical for your system, for your application on Tago to really manage it at a high level, right? Victor will get into some details there, but it's a very powerful tool that is being adopted by many of our customers. So we thought, let's have a webinar and try to explain this to people because there are some questions about it. As a customer success manager, I do not often, but sometimes I get questions about Control Tower, as well as hard limits and soft limits, which we'll be going over that so you can understand what are hard limits and soft limits and what can you do with them, right? We're also going to be giving a live demo and a Q&A. So again, thank you everybody for joining. I put my email in the chat and also a link to request a demo. If you would like an in-depth demo, please go ahead and you can just email me directly, or you can just request a demo through the link that I sent. And I'm going to go over this at the end, but we have a nice promotion for you at the end of this, and it's only for people that are attending this webinar. I'll go over the details of that, so just hang tight until the end, and then we'll get to that portion of it. But it's a really nice way for you to get a jump start on Control Tower. So with that, I am going to pass it over to Victor Lima, where he's going to discuss what is Control Tower and some specifics around that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on the Control Tower feature. I'm Victor Lima, and I'm excited to walk you through this powerful add-on designed to enhance your device and resource management capabilities. We'll start with a few slides to cover the key concepts and benefits, and then I'll dive into a live demo to see it all in action. So what exactly is Control Tower? In essence, it's an add-on designed to manage your devices and resources more effectively. It offers increased visibility and control over data input and output of your profile and provides advanced statistics on hard limits, also known as rate limits. This is crucial for understanding how your application is performing and scaling. Let's talk about the key benefits of Control Tower. View data statistics. So this feature allows you to monitor data input and output for each device. It's essential for identifying any anomalies or malfunctions in your devices. Set resource limits. You can customize resource limits for individual devices or entire profiles. This flexibility helps you manage your resources more effectively. Visualize hard limits usage. So these features provides insights into requests by minute, helping you understand how close your application is to hitting the request hard limits of your account. As your application scales, this gives you time to prepare and optimize if needed. And to prevent device malfunctions, so if a device is sending too many requests, it will be blocked, preventing any potential issues from scaling your application. So let's understand the difference between hard limits and soft limits. I think this is a very important topic. So the hard limits, these are fixed limits based on your account's plan and are non-customizable at all. So they apply uniformly to all accounts. For example, if the hard limit is 5,000 requests by minute, it cannot be exceeded. And the soft limits, so these are customizable limits set by the account administrator. They are flexible and can be adjusted for profiles or individual devices. Soft limits are used to control data input and output and prevent overuse, but they cannot exceed the hard limits. This feature is only available within the Control Tower add-on. So with all that out of the way, so let me show you where you can find all this information, how you can use it inside your account. Let me remember how to share my screen here. Okay, found it. Okay, so I'm here on my account. I can see my usage statistics, usage history. So first thing I want everyone to be very familiar with is how do you find your hard limits for your profile and what are the impacts of the hard limits for you. So when you click here in this menu on the top, you will see the hard limits button on the menu. So you have two types of hard limits here. One is the resources, so how much of each kind of resources, let's say how many devices you can have in this profile, how many dashboards, and that just goes on here on the entire list. And you have the requests. So the request is when you use analysis or the API to perform device creation, deletion, or just get the information of your device. So all this has a amount of requests that you can perform by minutes. Those you see here, RPM, requests by minutes. And you cannot go over this number. This is based on your accounts plan. And by the way, if you are close to this, you can open a support ticket for us so we can maybe raise this for you depending on how you are using or give you recommendations on how to get this lower on your application. And what Control Towers brings to this page is actually give you some insights on how is your current usage. So if you don't have the add-on, you will not have these bars available to you. Since I have the add-on here, I can see that I basically not using much of my limits. So each bar here is actually a percent. You don't have the actual values. For example, I cannot know that I'm doing 10 RPM for device creation or if I'm doing 1,000, but I do have the percentage here. So Control Tower is telling me that all my usage is below 25%, so I am not even close to my RPM limits yet. And this is good, right? But if you have a big application sending a lot of data, thousands of devices, is very probably that for some of these limits, you may be reaching the maximum. So this screen gives you a lot of information for you to optimize your application. So you may want to investigate why you are having so much data edits, for example, what is triggering that. So you can check your analysis, do your optimizations, trying to get lower of this limit. And if it's for some reason, this is not something you think you can optimize, your application needs to work that way, you are following all the best practices, open a ticket support and let our team understand your application and maybe raise this for you so you can continue to scale your application and get more customers on. Another topic is in the device section. So I have a device here. I can navigate to each device, and Control Tower will bring this statics information on each device. So I have here set to daily. I can see hourly or monthly, and I can see how much data input my device is sending. So that gives you a lot of information for you to try to understand which device is not behaving in a way that you was expecting it to behave. It happens very often on the IoT ecosystem, right? Maybe it's a misconfiguration, or maybe device just not working properly. You need to update firmware or something. So it's very hard without Control Tower to get this kind of information. Uh, Usually, you only have the information on how much data your device has stored, and having the ability to check and compare with other devices is just a useful tool to have. And you have here for data input and data output. Data output, most of devices do not use that output, right? But analysis does. Is very often for you to in your application to have an analysis that by schedule or by some action events gets data from your device, or you are generating reports. That's the only situation where you see that outputs increasing. And this can give you some hints if a customer is generating a lot of reports, doing something that you are not expecting, and it's not a problem with your entire application. It's just a single device that is being used too much. So only viewing the information, our team decided this is not enough, right? You may want to completely prevent a device or a specific customer from completely blocking your account because of some malfunctioning device. So Control Tower also give you the configuration of the soft limits. So on top of your hard limits, Control Tower will enable the soft limits where you can come here by device and set up a maximum rate for that input and that output. So for example, I can say this device can only send 20 data by minutes. It's not 20 data, it's more 20 API calls, right? You can have thousands of data in a single request. But what usually tells us that something is going wrong is when device is just triggering a lot of requests, sending thousands and thousands and thousands of requests, thousands of data in each request. So you want to limit how much your device is allowed to communicate with your services. Same thing for that output. And you can see I have this option to override my profile limit. And that's because I can also set a soft limit for my entire profile, and I'll show you in a second. So when I disable this, I can see what is my current profile setting. So all the devices get the profile setting by default, unless you go by device and override the profile limits. The SDK, when you are creating devices, editing devices, you can also set up this using the SDK. So maybe you have thousands of devices, and in order to not go one by one here through the interface, you can set up an analysis and just edit these limits. I think it's more easy that way. So let me show you my profile here. So if I go to my profile, the one that I was showing you, and go to more, I can set up the soft limits for the entire profile. So this basically allows you to set up all the devices, no matter which one, how they are going to, how you are allowing them to behave. So very straightforward. This you set up for your entire profile. And in the device, you can override and do by device optimization here. Yeah, I think I have shown you all I have on the control tower. So going back to you, David.
Okay, thank you, Victor. So that's pretty powerful stuff. Again, as Control Tower is fairly new, I guess, if you think about it, but we're always coming out with new features and things like that to really help our users, right? So this is really critical, Control Tower. Now, if you would like a free month of Control Tower, you've already attended the webinar, so you're already ahead of everybody else, right? You just make sure you email me. I put my email in chat, by the way, david.hall@tago.io, within 7 days, just by June 9th. And just use the subject CT1M. One caveat is you must have a starter or a scale account to use Control Tower, right? And to use Control Tower, yes, but to get this promo, right? And this will give you a chance to really look at Control Tower and see its benefits at no charge, right? So that's really important. And before we go, I do want to share my screen real quick before we sign off. But again, I'm going to leave this up on the screen just for a second here. david.hall@tago.io, subject line CT1M. We're always doing webinars. We're always posting self-help videos and things like that. New features that are coming out. So sign up for our newsletter. Also follow us on X and LinkedIn, and you'll definitely get that information firsthand from that aspect. We do have a question here, Victor. What is the difference between the Control Tower and the user plan selection? I'm not sure if I understand user plan selection.
Well, I would assume user plan selection is if you have a free account, starter, scale, right? So user plan do affect your hard limits, right? So free users can have 10 devices. If you go to starter, you can have 100 devices, 1,000 devices, and that goes on. The control tower is a monitoring add-on, right? So it allows you to monitor how is your current usage. So by having a scale account, you would have 5,000 requests by minute, but are you using 100, 200, 100? You don't know, right? So Control Tower is a DOM that allows you to visualize how much you are using. It gives you the information by percentage. for the requests by minutes, and also allows you to put in place, as I have showed, some way to prevent that devices blocks your account. And you do that by using the soft limits. That is a feature specific for the control tower. So you can put some jail blocks for your devices.
Thank you, Victor. I also put in a link to our documentation on Control Tower if you want to read on it there. I think Victor did a great job covering it, but if you just want to absorb that a little bit, there's the link. Carlos, you're very welcome. Thank you for the question. Before we are done here, I would like to share my screen and just go over a couple quick things. So let's just go to the control tower first. So as Victor was saying, right, this looks very familiar from what Victor was just showing you. If you just go into your account and go to billing, and then down at the bottom here are our add-ons, you know, the white label, custom mobile app, control tower, you can add it here. But again, email me with that promo code and I'll get you going on a month free. No problem at all. And then I can work with you as the customer success manager, by the way. You can ask for a demo at any time, as I said. Victor, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, we just got a chat, somebody saying that they couldn't see my screen. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on there, Carlos, but everybody else can see it, so I apologize for that. But just ask for a demo. I'd be glad to give you one. So with that, one thing I'd like to show you, so Tago is really big on self-help, right? We want our customers to be able to build applications and get inspired. One way we do that, if I just go to resources, developers, and then just scroll over to templates, we have these really cool templates that you can use, right?
Hey, David.
So, yeah.
More people are saying they cannot see the screen. Do you mind trying to share again?
Yeah, sure. Let me turn that off and try again. All right, Jose and Carlos, everybody else, somebody let me know. Can you see my screen? It doesn't look like the screen share is working for the audience. I apologize for that. One way that you guys will be able to see this. Okay, we're good now. All right, good. All right, let me back up here a little bit. I apologize for that. Let me just go back to the main site. So again, big on self-help, right? We really want our customers to be inspired and be able to build things fairly easily. TagoIO is very customizable, by the way. I think that's what sets us apart from our competitors, quite honestly. But here, so I just went to resources, developers. I'm on the developer page. And then if I go to templates here, we have all these different templates that you can download to your profile. One thing to note that is very cool, when you download these, you own them. You can edit them, add another widget, remove a widget, change colors, all kinds of different stuff that you can do with these templates. The main point that I'm trying to get across there is when you download these, you own them. So it's a great way. And you can even use these. You could use a few of these, as many as you want, right? But these are very powerful and extremely popular, right? So this is really good. I will go back and show you, since the screen share had a problem, and show you how to enable Control Tower. But before we do that, let me go back and show you something else. And again, the templates are free. The Learning Center is free. This is extremely popular as well. So here, if you really want to get to know Tago and become a super user of Tago, I highly, highly recommend that you take these modules. The 100 modules is really, I don't really like to call it basics, but it's fundamentals, right, of TagoIO that you need to know. And they are in sequence, meaning, you know, it talks about devices and dashboards, because can't really have a dashboard without a device. I suppose you could, but it wouldn't be very functional. And then you have the 200 modules. Need to know a little bit of JavaScript here, but I'm not technical. I know very little JavaScript, and I was able to get through these just fine. So make sure you check that out. If we go back, let me go back. If I'm logged into my account, just go home. So here, I'm just in my main account, my developer account. If I go over here and I just click on billing and let this load, scroll down, here's where our add-ons are. So here you can just add Control Tower. But again, as I said, just email me with the promo code. If you missed the promo code, let me know. Actually, I'll display that again before we're done here in case there's any late arrivals. But it's available for anybody that's on this webinar, so you folks, right? So let me stop my screen share real quick. Let me go back to the slides. Start that. And let me go back one. CT1M, david.hall@tago.io. Go ahead and feel free to email me as well. As I said twice during this webinar. Also, it doesn't matter where you're at in the world. Go ahead and request a demo. There's a sticky note up at top for if anybody that joined a little late and didn't hear me say that. It has my email address, and it also has how you can request a demo. Or you can just email me and request a demo. Pretty informal, right? We're pretty laid back here at Tago. So however you want to get in contact with me, that's fine with me. But again, I think this is a great promotion. Again, this is a very powerful tool, right? To really manage your application as you scale and really get insights into your application. So I highly recommend it. And other than that, everybody, make sure, keep an eye out for our next webinar. I believe it's going to be with our partner Kinesis, a satellite company out of France that they do connectivity, right? So that webinar is coming up. But again, follow us on LinkedIn, X, newsletter, and you're going to find out all the great things that we have coming out and features. We got a packed 2024 from a feature perspective as well. So I won't ruin the surprise now, but I highly recommend that you follow us in one of those three ways so you can get insight into that. So again, I hope to talk to each and every one of you soon. I appreciate your time today. Wherever you're at in the world, have a good day or evening. Thank you, everybody.